Hey folks, Species 7 here, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Farm Sim 15 and Gifts of the Caucasus. And as you can see, it's another beautiful day here on the farm. Yeah, no, it's absolutely terrible actually. But, oh well, we're nicely sheltered in the cab of our little chaffer here. So, just going to top up once again. A little more. There we go. I have been waiting for some word back from the real estate company about our purchase of the field, but so far it has not been forthcoming. And why are my cows only producing 10%? This has me interested. Where are we here? Aminals. Cows. Well, other than TMR, they should be just fine. They've got straw, they've got water, and grass, and silage. Okay. Oh, that's beefs. Oh, alright, never mind. The reason beefs are at 10% is because I filled up their thing with water, but we don't even own any. So, I just noticed that our glance thing was showing it. So today, what am I doing out here in the rain, still picking up straw? Well, I kind of wanted to have a little bit of a chat about the state of the channel. As you guys know, almost exactly a month ago, I had to go offline for a little while. Well, actually, almost a month ago, I came back online. A month prior to that, I had to go offline because my computer, sadly enough, no longer wanted to play, and so it needed fixed to the tune of a replacement. And thanks for some funding from me brother, I managed to do that, got back on, and well, here we are once again. Now, this time of year, it's a little bit rough on smaller YouTube channels. You know, there's, at least I've always noticed right about now, the viewership tends to really dive a bit. Bigger channels, of course, you don't notice it as much, but smaller channels like mine, you do. You know, like yesterday's Farm Sim video had less than 100 views when I first got up this morning to check last night's upload. Now, usually, or at least as of, you know, normal time of year, I would have well over 100 by the time I got to check my videos in the morning. So yeah, it's, you know, when you see low numbers, the first thing you think when you're a small channel is you look at the amount of effort you put into actually doing it. And for a game like Farm Sim, you spend a lot of off-camera hours just getting things done, right? Now, I've been doing this straw thing, as you can see by this pile, a heck of a lot more than what you guys have seen. But that goes for pretty much every function in this game. You know, if it takes an hour to do a field, well, that's 10 minutes of what you're showing on camera, and the other 50 minutes is usually yourself. So when you look at that, and you look at your views and go, my God, I went through all that effort and got almost nothing in the way of views, well, whether you do it for monetary reasons or just simply to share your hobby, you really feel a little dejected when you get such bad views. But this isn't just a whine fest. The reason I wanted to talk about the channel is because we need some firmer content. Now, I was doing American Truck Sim, and ATS does well. It's a great game. A little content lacking, perhaps, at this point, which is why, of course, we were doing the Nexus Can and Coast to Coast mods. Well, naturally, a couple of days ago, SCS in their wisdom, and I really, well, never mind, but SCS in their wisdom decided to not only finally give us the Arizona DLC, but to release a new patch for both ATS and ETS2, which, as every single time they release a patch has done, has of course broken all the mods. So our first 3 attempts at getting a company together on ATS once more sit in smoldering ruins, as this new patch is so incompatible, it actually crashed the engine until I removed the mods. So yeah, there's no chance at all of just, you know, oh, a little patch of this, a little patch of that will be good. No. I mean, SCS encourages modders to do these big major map mods and vehicle mods and all, and yet, like I said, even ETS2, they release a patch how many years now after the game has come out that effectively breaks all the mods. And I feel really bad for people in ETS2 that have been running, you know, say a particular map for a year or so now, only to have it absolutely totaled. But, so, I'm basically at a point where I will have to build up my entire earnings on those 2 particular games again before we're anywhere close to where we were. And with the loss of the mods like the Mexus Can and the Coast to Coast, I mean, the Arizona DLC added, what, half a dozen cities? You know, a tenth of what we had on those other 2 mods alone. So, I don't know whether, you know, we want to start another entire empire and hope that by the time we built it up to the point where we own a truck or 2, they don't release patch 1.6 or whatever and destroy that as well, modded or unmodded. We'll see. But I guess what I'm basically saying here is a lot of the games that before my computer crash I was playing, I have not featured based simply on the fact that the views were not outstanding, or in existence at all in some cases. So there were quite a few games that I dropped. What I put to you guys is, what would you actually like to see? Now, preferably something I don't have to drop $60 on to play, because quite frankly, that's not often in my budget. And as you guys may have figured out by now, my channel is not a big fan of AAA titles. Mainly because I'm not that big a fan. I find I get partway into most of them only to figure out that, wow, I paid an awful lot of money for an awful lot of cutscenes I don't particularly want to watch, an awful lot of hand-holding before they actually let me take control of characters, etc., etc. So, what I ask is, what do you guys want to see? I have featured lots of games on this channel. There are all kinds of things to choose from. Any suggestions I am open to. As I've always been in the past, and people have suggested different games. You know, things like Spin Tires, which I did a couple of episodes on. They did alright, but not well enough to really, and a complete lack of commentary. Yeah, that's another thing. Views alone don't always tell the story, because you'll generally find anytime you put something different up, you'll get more views than normal, and the first or second episode will usually do that. But if you don't get any sort of commentary saying, hey, this is a neat game, or keep it up, or I'd like to see more, you definitely got to figure it's just one of these one-hit wonder deals where people want to see what's going on, and then go, well, nothing to see here, and move along. So, whatever sort of suggestions we can come up with, guys, would be appreciated. You know, as I say, it's really hard to justify the expense and the time to run a YouTube channel, especially like me, where you're putting videos every single day when you can, you know, to have less people than live in your apartment building actually view it. So, but anyway, like I said, not trying to make a whiny episode out of this. I was hoping at some point here, our driving around in the rain, we would hear back from the real estate company. I kind of thought we made a fair offer. We offered asking price. Now, how can you do better than that? But apparently, that's not the way this particular map works. They have some sort of... Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what would work in the real world. You know, you put a price on something, a person agrees to pay it, and then you go, well, actually, now that you're actually standing there with a big pile of money in your hand, I want twice as much. Oh, there'd be an awful lot of car dealers with bleeding noses. I tell you what. I tell you what. So we got lots of money. Not quite enough to buy the mixing plant, but I still think that that's a crime. What, they want $400K or something for the mixing plant beside the farm? You can buy the placeable one for less than $100K? I suppose we could do that, eh? Oh, that would upset the game, wouldn't it? Yeah, this little pile's sure building up. How's it getting? We are getting... Oops, let's get a little closer, man. There we are. Ooh, 14%. 71,000. That'll make us some money. There we go. Whew. Darn near 90,000 liter. Nice. So yeah, if you guys want to, maybe peruse my game spotlights link or something like that to figure out what we could be running, that'd be great. Now, I will of course keep featuring Farm Simulator, as it is sort of the backbone of the channel, as it were, although again, we're getting some of these. And this, I suppose, isn't actually just me being petty, but we are getting a few of these sort of superstars of the video scene here for Farm Sim. People who basically an hour after the video is uploaded have got more views than I get in a year, to the point where they've got different websites sponsoring them, etc., etc., etc. And good for them. I'm really glad to see people succeed at this. Of course, again, as a small channel, it's only half the story. But that's kind of hard to deal with too. But as I say, because this is a supporting function of my channel, it will always be here in one form or another. I guess we've still got another 4 or 5 months before we can expect a new version on the horizon. So until then, well, probably take us that long to buy our third field on this map, so I guess we can stay where we are. So, and map reviews I will continue to do as well, although I'm going to be honest with you. Some of you give me suggestions for map reviews, and that's great. I appreciate it. I really like it. Here's the deal, though. If it's some ginormous 4X map with 50,000 functions, it's really not fair that I do a map review on it, because I'm not going to be able to show all the functions, and it's going to be a ridiculously long review. I don't remember the name, but we just did one fairly recently. Was it Sudaheim? I don't know. But yeah, I actually had to break that into 2 half-hour episodes just for a map review. So yeah, I don't think we'll be doing too many of those. But there you are. So yeah, any suggestions from you guys would be muchos appreciated. In the meantime, as far as this map goes, yeah, I'm going to get the rest of this straw up, prep these fields, and well, it is, I would certainly have to say at 10:30 in the morning, rainy day or not, the real estate offices and the banks should be open. And well, I would have expected an answer. Somebody comes along and says, hey, I got $140,000 in my pocket. I'd like to give it to you. And you go, yeah, I'll get back to you on that in a day or two. Really? I'm like, man, You don't want that 140k near as much as you think you do. I just have to say. But, speaking of which, I suppose what we could do is take a little waddle over to me fine little purple car. Nobody coming to run me down? You haven't noticed it's hammering down rain? Go home, put on some clothes, woman. Dang. I'm stuck. What's the matter? You're closed? You bribed the agent. Ah. I see. Overcharge was sended. Still can't say as I know really what the heck that means. Calf house, 90k. 430k. 300k. Wow. So... wow. What about 80,000 for a pigsty, eh? That'd be something to consider. That's not that much money, you know. It's a little ways off from us, but I kind of like that. Dairy factory. Yeah. Bakery. Wow. Those things are expensive. 90k for the calves. 80k for the pigs. I'm almost tempted to at least buy the calf house. But, unfortunately, what we have to do first is figure out what that field's going to cost, because that is definitely the purchase that I want. So, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Again, any sort of suggestions. I have lots of RPGs, lots of strategy type games. I do have first-person shooters. I don't feature them that often because a lot of them either involve content or quite often language, etc. Like, I'm currently playing Wolfenstein New Order. Great game, having a hoot of a time with it. Really cool. Probably if it's as offensive as heck to some people. You know, sort of things like that. But like I said, anything for suggestions, please leave it down in the comments. Look, dude, I can almost outrun you. And oh, there's that again. Man, that's freaky. I mean, the carrot mask isn't that big a deal, but I'm not sure what the heck they've stuck under that poor cow's tail or how they managed. But there you go. Alright, guys, till next time, this has been Species 7 on the Gifts of the Caucasus map. Take care of each other, folks. Leave lots of suggestions. Ciao for now. Alrighty. Well, at the car wash.